This is one thing I would change on every single COD Zombies map. In Nectar and Toten, I would make the outside area playable. I wouldn't want to add power or pack-a-punch or something, because obviously it's the first Zombies map, so I wouldn't want to add anything too innovative to it. Root was a fairly innovative map for being the second zombie map, so one thing I would have liked to have seen with the new perks and power system would be a new wonder weapon. One thing I would change about Shironuma is I would introduce the pack-a-punch machine in this map rather than Derice. One thing I would change in Derice is having Jug and the Wonder Wolf at the same time without the risk of me shooting myself and losing my Jug. One thing I would change about Keyloader Toten would be this poster here, and I would change it to a photo of Chaos X Silencer because he knows that Keyloader Toten is the best COD zombie map of all time. In 5, I wish there was a way to save this pig. On Ascension, I would make it so the monkeys weren't as quick as taking your perks. It's just kind of annoying. On Call of the Dead, I'd fix the glaring issue of there being no traps that are adding in a wonder weapon that kills infinitely. There's one thing I could change about Shangri-La, it'd be making the pack-a-punch a bit more convenient. So obviously you get these tiles around the map that activate it for you. A change I would make is making this tile the only tile to activate pack-a-punch. On Moon, one thing I would change is making it so Jug was actually on the moon and not on Area 51. This is for a few reasons. Number one being, it makes Moon a much more less inconvenient map, and having to go back and forth and let the perks rotate between Speed Cola and Jug to get one or the other. And 2, it also makes the progression on Moon a little bit harder. If there was something I could change about Transit, it'd be making it so the town area actually had wall weapon, making the map a little bit more viable for them higher rounds. One thing I would change about Nuketown Zombies is making it so the jet gun was actually in the mystery box. Again, Nuketown is one of these maps where it has no traps, so having a wonder weapon on the map that would kill infinitely would be useful. One thing I would change about Die Rise is making it so that all the parts you pick up, it's a one and done deal. You don't have to go back and pick up the parts over and over again. Like so, you're seeing here that I'm picking up and dropping parts, inconvenient. One thing I would change about Mob of the Dead is the way that Pack-a-Punch works. I think building the plane once and then getting to use it every round or so is pretty appropriate rather than having to run around the map and actually pick up the parts for the plane. One thing I would change about Buried is making it so Leroy would have to take a significant amount of damage for him to run back in this cage. On Origins, the mud is pretty slow. So what I would do to changes is add a special item in the game, like the helmet, but being a boot or a pair of shoes, and make it so the more you run in the mud, the faster you move. For Exo Zombies, I'm just going to say one change I would like to see in every map, that being making the EMZs their own round. Some people are going to say, well, that's just too easy. But if you're going to give us an exosuit, let us use it. One thing I would change about Shadows of Evil is the Easter egg and making it fully compatible with solo play. One thing I would change about the Rise and Draka is the Pack-a-Punch sequences. I would make it so this was the main area for Pack-a-Punch. One thing I would change about Zetsubo is the amount of doors in the map. If you look here, we're in such a small space and I've opened 3 doors in a matter of 5 seconds. I just feel like, especially here, does not need to be so many doors in the area. A nitpick, I know, but I think it's kind of valid. If I could change one thing about Gorod Crovey, it'd be making the ray gun insta-kill. It's just kind of sad it's not really viable after round 60. For Revelations, I don't really want to do the generic, I wish there was more of an original map. One thing I will say, though, is we have all these maps, but we only have 2 main wonder weapons in the map, being the Apothicon Servant and the Thunder Gun. I say, why not go all out? So for the Origins area, why don't we have all the staffs? Since you can have an Apothicon Servant and a Thunder Gun anyway, I don't think balancing is like the biggest concern in this map, so why not just go all out? Just like Exo Zombies, we're gonna do a change I would do to the whole of the IW Zombies experience. I would have kept the token system from Zombies in Spaceland and Raven the Redwoods in future maps. And the same with World War II Zombies. Will be covering one change I'd like to see in the whole game. And one change I would make to World War II Zombies would be the health system. I'd make it similar to Black Ops Cold War, where you'd have Jug there and armor is just a thing you could have on top that you could also pick up. On Blood of the Dead, I would have liked to see the Afterlife mechanic return. I know it kind of did with the shield, but I don't think you get the full experience of Afterlife with that. In Voyage of Despair, if I could change anything about the map, it'd be the corridors of the map and the overall spacing of the map as well. I would make everything a little bit more wider, so on the higher rounds it was a little bit more. One thing I would change about IX would be the wonder weapon. The Death of Orion has a cool design and can be useful, but overall for the map it just feels kind of underwhelming. One thing I would change about Classified is that I would make the Easter egg cutscene be obtainable by doing the side Easter egg to get the Winter's Howl on the map, as I think round 150 is a bit absurd. One thing I would change about Dead of the Night would be making it so the intro cutscene had a bit more dialogue rather than just random walking about. One thing I would change about Ancient Evil is I would take all the catalyst zombies out. I feel like the map has a pretty good flow when it's just the standard zombies and boss zombies that come at you, but when the catalyst zombies get in the way, things just get kind of annoying. One thing I would change about Alpha Omega would be the variety of boss enemies. With a good 3 different types of Nova Crawlers first of all, 2 different variants of zombies, and then having Hellhounds as well, it's just a lot to deal with, and it makes the map kind of unenjoyable to play. One thing I would change about Tagder Toten would be the Wonder Weapon. I like the Thunder Gun and I like the Tundra Gun as well, but honestly I would have liked to see the Scavenger make a return from Call of the Dead. Just the main reason being, we've never seen the Scavenger being able to kill after round 50 really effectively, and in this game, obviously the zombie's health is capped, so it would actually be an insta-kill weapon pretty much. It just would have been kind of cool to see that in the map rather than the kind of lackluster weapons we got. But as far as the map goes, I think it's a pretty good remake of Call of the Dead, and I wouldn't change much else about it. The one thing I would change about D Machine would be the Megaton. As much as I like the Megaton, I like him just how he is. I don't really like Bomber or Blaster. I would really prefer him if he only split into one of the two. In Firebase Z, I would change it so you could do this little parkour jump again. I know you can still technically kind of do it with certain weapons, but I just felt like it was a way for a player to use his advanced knowledge of the map to get ahead. I could change one thing about Marauder Toten, it's that I would just try and make the map a little bit more interesting. Don't get me wrong, there's not anything necessarily wrong with the map, but I feel like it's the most empty map in Cold War. I know that's weird when Firebase Z is a thing, but I don't know, I just feel kind of empty when I play this map. I know that's much more of a personal thing than it is like a community view, but Marauder Toten is probably my least favorite Cold War Zombies map. One thing I would change about Forsaken, and it's more of like a personal thing than anything, is I would have the Jug and Speed Cola machines here, and it would randomly be one or the other. I think it'd just be a cool callback to Moon, and I think it works better here than in Moon, considering it's relatively easy to get your perks in this game anyway, compared to Black Ops 1, where getting your perks was a little bit more difficult. And as for Vanguard Zombies, one thing I would change for the whole game is making it so it was round based from the start. Don't get me wrong, I believe in innovation, but sometimes people should just know when the innovations aren't that good. Check out this video here to see every world record on Black Ops 1. Goodbye.